Good morning, and thank you for stopping by to hang out with me today here on the couch. Today's song is the classic title track to Neil Young's 19th studio album, Harvest Moon, released in 1992. As of this recording, we are just a couple days away from 2023's last supermoon of the year, which will be the super harvest moon. So I thought this would be a fitting tutorial for this week. Let's jump right in with the intro riff. This song is in drop D tuning, which means your low E string is tuned down to D. All other strings are the same. A, D, G, B, and the high E. So the two D strings are going to match each other. They're going to sound alike once you have it in the correct tuning. And it starts out with playing the two lowest strings open together, and then we're going to play the four thinnest strings. Come here, baby. Come here. Come here. There you go. My cute dog has joined us for the remainder of the lesson. She seems nervous. So you're going to be playing the E, the B, the G, and the D strings. And your fingers are going to be on the 10th fret of the B string and the 11th fret of the G string. So that is one position. Next position, we're going to take your ring finger and we're going to put that on the 12th fret. Everything else stays the same, but that goes to the 12th fret of the B, and we're still playing those same four strings. Then we're going to slide everything down one fret, but we're going to kind of stair step our fingers on the E string, the 9th fret, 10th fret on the B string, and the 11th fret on the G string. We're still going to play all four of those strings starting with the D. So your positions are this one, and at the beginning we started off with those open D notes. Or actually the D and the A string. Goes through that 4 times. Again, those positions, you're playing this E string, the B string, the G string, and the D string. The D and the E are going to be played open, and you have your pointer finger on the 10th fret of the B string, your middle finger on the 11th fret of the G string. That's the first one. Second one is you take your ring finger and put it on the 12th fret on that B string. So it goes from there to there. Then we're going to slide down one fret, and we're going to put our pointer finger on the E string on the 9th, stair step. The next one is the 10th fret on the B and the 11th fret on the G, just like that. We're still playing the D string open. So the rhythm with your right hand is a big part of this song. The iconic music video for Neil Young's Harvest Moon was filmed at the Mountain House restaurant, which is situated in the beautiful redwood forest in California. That restaurant has also been featured prominently in other music videos and television shows over the years that are related to music. Another interesting fact is that the backup singer on this song on the album was Linda Ronstadt, so that's not something that's very well known or I hadn't heard before, and I thought it might be of interest to you. So, getting back to the lesson, the very first opening intro riff that we've learned, that's probably the hardest part of the whole song. However, there's another little tricky part as you come out of that riff, which is a harmonics lick at the 12th fret and the 7th fret. So we're going to play, and we're not pushing down on the fret. A harmonic, or a natural harmonic, which we're making, is right above the fret. So we're barely touching the strings at the 12th fret. We're playing the E string, the B string, the G string, and the D string. And then we're real quick going up to the A string at the 7th fret for the last note. And as you touch it, if you pull your finger away, that's probably the best way to get that sound. There's a little bit of a rhythm to it as well. And then as soon as you come out of that harmonic riff, there's a E minor chord, which in this case, since we're in drop D tuning, not only do we hold down the 2nd frets of the A and the D strings, but we're also going to hold down the 2nd fret of this 6th string, or the low E string, which is now a D. So that's going to make the E minor. And then it goes into an alternative, or an alternate to the intro riff, which is a D major chord. And what we're doing is we're playing the open, the 6th string and the 5th string again, open to start that off, and then we're playing just a D major chord. I know this is a goofy way to make a D major, but it's the way I've always done it, and probably will continue to do so. So I bar the 2nd fret of the E, the B, and the G string, and then I use my middle finger on the 3rd fret of the B string. That's how I make a D major. We strum that a few times, and then we're going to lift that finger. That is a form of a D chord, D sus, I think. Maybe not, but I'm just learning that stuff now. Then we're going to go up to an A chord. So I leave my finger barred there. I just don't play the high E string. And then we're hitting most of those on the upstrokes. And I'm just using my ring finger for the one note. I'm coming down on the 4th fret of the D string. Then you play those open, the low D or E string and the A, and you can play the D as well. And that's kind of how that ends. For the next chord, we're going to use our middle finger to fret the 5th fret on the low E string, which is a D, and our ring finger to fret the 5th fret on the A string right below it. And then with our pointer finger, we're going to skip a string, and we're going to fret not the D but the G string. So that's your chord. And then it always goes, after that chord, it always goes back to the intro. And back to that chord. And back to the intro. Then we're going to go to the chorus, which is an A chord. I'm not sure which kind of A chord, sorry. Just learning that stuff. So we're going to fret the 2nd fret of the D string and the 3rd fret of the B string. Everything else is open for the beginning of this. And then on that B string, we're going to lift the ring finger and use our middle finger to fret the 2nd fret. Everything else stays the same. So 2nd fret on the D and the B string, everything else open. And that's the chorus. Once you've learned all of those parts, you really have everything that you need to be able to play the song. Other than that, you only need to know what order those parts come in. You can get used to that by playing along with the album or the video, of course. But basically, it's the intro riff. Goes through that 4 times into the harmonics to the E minor chord. Does that twice. Into the alternative to the intro riff, which is the D major chord. Does that 2 times. Then we go back to the harmonics into the E minor again. Does that 2 more times. Does the D major riff 2 more times. And then it goes into the chord, which is up here where we fret the 4th fret on the G string and the 5th fret on the A string and the low E string, or the D string because we're in drop D tuning. So we get this chord again. After it, we always go back to the intro. 2 times through the intro and then back to the chord. After the chord, we go back to the intro 2 more times, which goes into the chorus. Back to the intro riff, goes through that intro riff 4 more times, which starts that entire progression over again. You go through all of those things in that order again, and then when you're done with those parts, then it has the harmonica solo, which is a little bit different because you have the chord. Chord goes into the D major riff, goes back to the chord, and then it goes into the intro 2 times through the intro riff, goes back to the final chorus. After that chorus, you have 4 more go rounds of the intro riff, and it ends with a pretty little slow strum. That's how the song ends. And that is our lesson for this week. Harvest Moon is not only a beautiful love song, but a song that makes me think about the fall season. And that in turn causes me to consider the seasons of my life and to ponder what comes next and what comes after. I'd encourage you to think on these things this year as you learn this song and as you see the changes happening all around you. If this video has provided you with some value or some benefit, I'd ask that you like the video and subscribe to my channel, both of which help me and the channel going forward. Thank you so much for stopping by and learning some riffs from the couch.